is definitely exciting. What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very exciting update for both Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac Games and, in addition to that, even the Venom video game, which is extremely freaking exciting. Now, of course, before we dive on into the news, don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, scroll on down, smash that thumbs up button. Thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your continued support. I genuinely do appreciate you. Let's aim for 1,000 likes on today's video, and without further ado, let's get into the news.
Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself? I'm sure.
So first and foremost, let's just rewind for 1 second. And that is because, of course, you saw that I most recently reported that Tom Henderson, a very credible and a reliable person from Insider Gaming, let us know that the Marvel's Wolverine trailer is completed and that he expects it to be showcased at either the next State of Play or the Game Awards later on this year. Now, of course, I personally am expecting an actual State of Play next week. We'll see if it happens next week or the week after, but time will tell. Regardless, though, after that news came out, it kind of started to turn a lot of gears in terms of the information around, hey, what is Insomniac cooking? Is Marvel's Wolverine going to be coming out this year, next year, the year after? What is actually happening? Well, today we got a very exciting update because once again, Tom Henderson's website, Insider Gaming, was actually reporting on an article that was written by MP1st. Now, I went over to the original source and then I went over to the person that actually wrote this article, and I looked back through the history of the articles that this person has written in order to verify, like, how consistent are they on reporting rumors / leaks / anything that is in between. So I went through and it seems like they do have a pretty good track record in general. Like, they talked about Gears of War coming to PlayStation before it actually was an actual announcement. So there's a handful of articles that they've written in the past in this same sort of, I guess, category that has been pretty accurate. And so I feel pretty confident to go ahead and report on this. But in addition to that, it also obviously helps when Tom Henderson gives it a seal of approval as well by going on ahead and posting it on his website also. Now, with that being said, what was inside of this article? Well, first and foremost, the most exciting thing is probably the fact that it is indeed going to confirm that Marvel's Wolverine is still on track to be released next year. Now, I feel like when I say this, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions like, oh my goodness, it's going to drop in like January or March or February. I doubt it. I think the most likely outcome is that the game actually releases sometime in the fall next year. I would hope and I would pray that I was wrong, but I just feel like they are not going to want to release in April, May, or June in order to avoid GTA. So unless if GTA gets delayed into sometime later in the year, I feel like Wolverine is not going to want to be out in stores and for sale at the same time. Because of that, I feel like the most likely scenario would be somewhere in the fall half of the year, but I guess time will tell. The most exciting thing is that it just does go ahead and confirm that as of right now, everything's on track, no more delays. It is indeed going to be launching in 2026. And next week, if we get a State of Play or the week after, should be a really exciting week because that is where we are expecting to actually see our next trailer for this game. And it should be a pretty significant step up from what we've seen up until now, because obviously all we've gotten up until this point is just that little teaser trailer. But here is where things get really interesting because the Venom project is in fact still in development inside of Insomniac Games. Of course, the original time that we found out about this particular project was back when the Insomniac hack occurred 2.5 years ago now? But regardless, that is when we actually found out that they were developing a Venom game in the same scale of the Miles Morales game, meaning that it's not going to be like a huge title like Marvel Spider-Man 1 and 2, like not quite as big or ambitious of a game, but more of a smaller experience, probably closer to like a 10-hour campaign, similar to Miles Morales, which got a lot of us freaking excited because that sounds absolutely wonderful. A whole standalone game for Venom sounds pretty dang cool. But after the rumors swirled for this particular game, it's been really quiet on that front. So this is the very first time that we have an actual update from an official article like this, or I guess technically unofficial article, but someone who is putting their reputation on the line by posting an article like this from a big website saying, hey, we are hearing that Venom is still indeed in development. Now, the not so great news is that they also say in the same article that they do expect Venom to go into full production only when Marvel's Wolverine is completed. So that would imply that that game probably does not see the light of day at the earliest, like 2027, maybe 2028 or so. So we'll see. Obviously, Insomniac does make video games pretty quickly, especially considering or comparing to everybody else in the games industry. So who knows? Maybe they'll work their magic. They do have a huge amount of employees at this point. So maybe we do end up seeing like Marvel's Venom the year after Marvel's Wolverine, like maybe 2027, which would be pretty freaking incredible. Just hoping so, just because of the fact that it does seem like it's going to be a smaller game. So I guess fingers crossed for that to happen. But that is not even all. They do also drop some interesting nuggets when it comes to the Marvel's Venom game as well, saying that first and foremost, Eddie Brock is said to be the main character, which is very interesting, mostly due to the fact that obviously if you played Marvel Spider-Man 2, you know that Harry Osborn is the one to don the mantle of Venom in this particular universe. So obviously there's going to be some sort of, I guess, a jump, or either time jump or some sort of an explanation as to how the heck does Harry lose the symbiote suit, and then Eddie Brock is the one to find it. We do know that Eddie Brock exists in this universe. They've made references to him across a bunch of little like Easter eggs and collectibles in the game, but we've never actually like seen him. So it would be really freaking cool if they actually introduce him in a big way like this for his own standalone game. And then, as if all that wasn't exciting enough, they also clarify that they do expect Carnage, aka Cletus Kasady, to be the main villain for this Marvel's Venom game, which sounds pretty dang cool as well. It makes sense once again because we obviously already have Cletus introduced into this universe in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and originally he was supposed to be one of the 3 DLCs that we were going to get for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as well. We were going to get a Beetle DLC, Across the Spider-Verse DLC, and a Carnage DLC. All of that was scrapped. It would make sense that probably the ideas that they had in mind for Carnage and Cletus maybe will just be repurposed and used for this standalone Venom game, which sounds pretty dang cool. I just wish we didn't have to wait so long to see this one, but regardless, looking forward to seeing those two massive symbiotes go at it. And speaking of symbiotes, they did also confirm, or at least say, that from their sources, they're hearing that Anti-Venom would also be making an appearance inside of this game. So sounds like it's going to be a symbiote galore. So if you're a symbiote fan, it sounds like this game is going to be tailor-made for you. That is still not all, because not only did they go ahead and tease the Marvel's Wolverine news, they do give us information on Marvel's Venom, but they also go into details saying that from their sources, they are hearing that Miguel O'Hara, better known as Spider-Man 2099, is going to be worked somehow, some way into these Insomniac games. Now, they do say that they're not certain whether it will be in Venom or Marvel's Spider-Man 3. And honestly, this is probably the piece of news that I am least excited about, because I really would not want an awesome character like Miguel O'Hara to just be kind of thrown in there as kind of a throwaway character. I'm a huge fan of the character, so I feel like he needs to be kind of like done justice, and they need to do the character well. So I would be really bummed out if he's just kind of flung in there as like a side character or something like that. I'd rather they would just keep him as a skin or a suit in the game instead of doing him kind of like in a poor way. But I also think that because they've already teased in Marvel Spider-Man 2's post-credit scene that they're going to be introducing Silk into this particular universe going forward, I just feel like if Marvel Spider-Man 3 is trying to kind of juggle the telling and the conclusion of the story for Peter here, continuing the story for Miles, and then at the same time still introducing Silk and now also Spider-Man 2099, I just feel like that is just too many characters, and I feel like all of them are going to inevitably kind of get nothing to do just because they're going to constantly be like, oh, well, we need to make sure that this person has something to do and this person. And then don't forget, we're also going to have like MJ with some sort of missions or some sort of implications to the gameplay as well. So it's like, I just personally feel like they should just keep Miguel to his own game, or maybe do a spin-off game kind of like they did with Miles. Maybe they could introduce him in a post-credit scene for Marvel Spider-Man 3 and then do a whole Spider-Man 2099 game. I'd be a-okay with that, but I really hope that he's not like a integral part of the story, just because I feel like they won't be able to then give us a justified fun story that is got enough meat for all the characters to do something. I feel like it's going to be like a very surface level experience if we're introducing so many characters all at once and trying to make them all feel like they matter and are important to the story. And this is where you get to voice your opinion. So let me know down in the comment section below, are you excited about the news that Marvel's Wolverine is indeed on track for 2026 release date? Are you excited that we finally have another article confirming that Marvel's Venom is indeed still in development actively within Insomniac Games. That's pretty dang exciting. Plus, if you're like me and you love Eddie Brock, you love his interpretation of Venom, this is also extremely exciting news that allegedly he will be the one to don that particular symbiote and become Venom in Marvel's Venom. So that's exciting to look forward to. And then ultimately, what are your thoughts on Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, appearing in the Insomniac Marvelverse? With all that in mind, thank you guys so very much for watching. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, don't forget to take a quick moment and leave a like. Thank you so very much for your kindness and your continued support. I will hopefully see you all here on the next one. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. I'll see you all later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.